Madden holiday is here and we will play all night. Calling sick and sound sincere, in tackles will delight. The fridge is packed with drink and meat, the taste of victory sure is sweet.
Man, we have got a lot to cover today, and I'm not even talking about the fact we're going into 10 games this time. This is the first year of the expanded college football playoff, and if they want to get people talking, they definitely did that happening. A few weeks ago, Ole Miss coach Lane Kiffin talked about not wanting to make the SEC championship game because he was thinking big picture, and, well, losing that might actually cause Ole Miss to miss a playoff spot. At least at the time they had a playoff spot, but that's a different thing altogether. College football commentator Josh Pate then took things to another level by pointing out that a team with a short spot could even just basically rest their starters or something like that during a conference championship game just to buy a little extra time and to avoid injury. And, I didn't pay much attention to it at the time, but then Ohio State's loss to Michigan last week had me thinking a little bit about this. I mean, sure, if Ohio State won the Big Ten championship game, that would all but assure them a first-round bye. But the fact that they had lost to Oregon earlier this season, doesn't exactly bode too well, which means they would have wound up playing in the opening round and being a fifth-place team, hosting an opening round game against, in all likelihood, Arizona State. So, by losing the game, they really didn't affect their positioning too much. And now I believe they're set up to actually host a much better seed with possibly, was it Alabama? No. Tennessee, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, Tennessee is the one currently listed. However, if the Big Ten championship game between Oregon and Penn State goes chalk with Oregon winning, well then Ohio State will probably be right back in the exact same position they were already in. In other words, hosting in all likelihood Arizona State or Iowa State, the Big 12 winner. Now, Georgia should be safe if they lose to Texas in the SEC championship game, but that's been getting a little batty too, as now you have Alabama ranked over Ole Miss and South Carolina, mainly because they beat those two teams. However, Alabama has much worse losses on the season to the likes of Vanderbilt and Oklahoma. Then there's Miami, who looked like a sure lock a few weeks ago, who are now currently out, with Clemson also being out, but they could easily be back in with an ACC win, but that wouldn't help Miami at all, and who knows how that would affect SMU. And of course, even perhaps most bizarre of all, Notre Dame is currently ranked number 4. However, technically in the college football playoff, they cannot be seated higher than number 5 because they're not in a conference, and thus cannot qualify for the first round bye, due to that only belonging to conference champions. Yeah, you got to have the feeling right now that Notre Dame is going to be dragged kicking and screaming into a conference, most likely the Big Ten or the ACC. I mean, ideally they probably want to be in the Big Ten, but I say the ACC for now because they're technically in the ACC for all their sports, with the lone exceptions, of course, being football and men's hockey, the latter of which, ironically enough, they're in the Big Ten. And with the current situation with Clemson and Florida State trying to leave the ACC and this lawsuit about the grant of rights deal and everything, they might have to wait till that shakes out before they make any type of decision about that happening. So yeah, maybe Notre Dame could join in all sports, but ACC doesn't have hockey, obviously. But that's beside the point. But yeah, it's like maybe we got to wait and see how that shakes out so that they could actually, get maybe more of a proper seating in this aspect. Anyway, this is the conference championship preview, and these games are being listed in basically order of occurrence. I say roughly here because a lot of these games are kind of being played at the exact same time, so yeah, give or take, this is the order that they will be happening in. We will be doing the Conference USA Championship between Jacksonville State and Western Kentucky, the AAC Championship between Tulane and Army, the Mountain West Conference Championship between UNLV and Boise State, the MAC Championship between Miami of Ohio and Ohio, the Big 12 Championship between Iowa State and Arizona State, the Sun Belt Championship between Marshall and Louisiana, the SEC Championship between Georgia and Texas, the ACC Championship between Clemson and SMU, the Big 10 Championship between Oregon and Penn State, and then to round things off and make it an even 10, we're going to be covering next week's Army-Navy game. Yes, for the third or fourth time saying this now, we're covering Army twice in the same show. And now, one last note here. A lot of the neutral site conference championship games, they're not in They're not in EA College Football 25 for some reason. I'm not entirely sure. Like, the stadiums are there for bowl games, but not for the conference championships they also host. So that's why you're going to see a lot of bowl regalia going on around them. And things like the Las Vegas Bowl the Duke's Mayo Bowl probably be the better example. Hosting two teams from the ACC when they're not normally supposed to do that. Likewise, the Big Ten Championship is in Indianapolis, which doesn't have a bowl, so that stadium isn't being used. I had to use the Texas Bowl instead. Okay, let's get started.
I am so tired of small portions in restaurants. I know. Women are supposed to like small portions. We're supposed to like shining floors, too. Yeah, right. At least Burger King gets it. Look at their new cheeseburger. 75% more beef than McDonald's. Now you're talking. You add fries and a drink, charge $1.89, and you've got a meal at a price that would satisfy the appetite of any red-blooded American woman. Okay, guys, too.
Burger King. Get your burger's worth.
Buy my new game. Buy my new game.
Dad, buy me this new video game. Krusty said you have to.
Video games are so fake. How can you die 1,000,000 times and still be okay?
Want a health pack?
Okay, you can have the game.
Sweet.
I still say games are fake. Hey, what the?
The Simpsons game.
Hey!
Starting things off, we have the Conference USA Championship between Jacksonville State and Western Kentucky. This is actually a rematch of a game that was played last week and won by the Hilltoppers, who actually needed the victory in order to clinch a spot in the Conference USA Championship game. The Gamecocks of Jacksonville State have already clinched. So basically, we kind of had a similar aspect to what I said about Ohio State, but on a much smaller scale. Now, Jacksonville State is coached by Rich Rodriguez, which of course means a high-powered offense if you remember him back from his old West Virginia days, or even his days at Arizona. Not so much his days at Michigan, that's a different story altogether. The big difference from those West Virginia days, though, is that Jacksonville State definitely throws the ball a little bit more, with quarterback Tyler Huff utilizing wide receivers Mike Pettaway and Cam Vaughn to a great extent. Now, again, they did lose to Western Kentucky last week, though, again, they didn't need to win that game, so, like I said, did they maybe scrub things out just to buy a little rest time? Of course, though, with Rich Rodriguez's teams, a lot of times, too, their defense can be a little spotty at some points. Now, Western Kentucky actually led the Conference USA standings for much of the season, even before the bottom fell out of the Liberty Flames, who were also a threat to win the championship this year. That being said, they struggle a lot down the stretch, and the offense is led by quarterback Caden Feldkamp, but the defense really can't support the low numbers that are constantly being put up by the offense in these last few games. Overall, though, the fact of the matter is the Gamecocks are just playing much better football right now. They're going to be really hard to beat as they're playing at home, and it's also really hard to beat a team twice to begin with, let alone 2 weeks in a row. So yeah, I think Jacksonville State is going to pull away in the second half and win this one.
Almonds. Want to know who gives you more of them? The new Mars bar. More big, beautiful almonds than any other popular chocolate bar. Rich chocolate, buttery caramel, and now more almonds than ever. One great little reward just got a little greater. The holiday season.
What you get, Howard?
A time that passes much too soon.
Come on, guys. You're getting your picture taken.
A special time you'll want to remember.
See the camera, Howie?
In pictures. To help make those pictures look as good as they can, make sure Kodak paper is behind them. If you don't see these words, it isn't Kodak paper. Ask for it where you get your holiday pictures.
How'd you like my present, Howard?
Kodak paper, for a good look at the times of your life.
Great party, Lucy. Chex Party Mix sure tastes great. Yeah, but it sure goes fast. No problem. More Chex Party Mix! Now we need is some great party music. No problem. Party music! Well, at least the food's great. Chex Party Mix tastes great. Goes fast.
Up next, it's the American Athletic Conference Championship between Tulane and Army, and the Green Wave pretty much flushed their college football playoff opportunity down the drain with a loss to Memphis on Thanksgiving. The Army Black Knights have pretty much no chance. They got blown up by Notre Dame, and right now Boise State or UNLV really is in a better spot to lock that up. And no, the game against Navy next week is not going to have any effect on this. Tulane does have a very high-powered offense led by quarterback Darian Mensah, wide receiver Mario Williams, and Shaz Preston. And the defense was playing pretty well until that Memphis game, and then they struggled again. Obviously, they lost, so that meant they gave up more points. They are really going to need to step up and defend the run game like they did against Navy, who they blew out earlier this year. Again, the service academies all pretty much run the same offense, so it shouldn't be too hard to prepare for everything. Now, Army's miracle season came to a screeching halt after they got blown out by the Fighting Irish, and, well, they've gotten a pretty good break period since then. Not to mention, this game is being played in New Jersey as they get to host this in Michie Stadium, and, well, if the weather's bad, that's really probably going to benefit their run game, and that they run the ball really well, so, again, it's going to be a benefit to them. Then again, they still have the big game against Navy to look forward to, and while I'm sure the Army officials would be more than happy to win an AAC championship, the Commander-in-Chief's trophy is a little more valuable to them. So, yeah, it would be kind of nice, but in the end, I unfortunately just don't see this happening. Tulane's just got too much of a dynamic attack on offense. That should overpower Army. I think Tulane's going to wind up winning this by 14-plus points here. So, yeah, the Green Wave will win this.
A special Christmas gift from Radio Shack. The TRS-80 color computer at $100 off.
Instant loading program packs turn our color TV into a game arcade.
The color computer is also an education center.
There are over 30 games available.
And it's perfect for home management.
She's right. With a programmable, expandable computer, you can do more than just play games. Why, our son's even learning how to program.
Save $100 on the TRS-80 color computer, only at Radio Shack, the computer experts.
You know what I got for Christmas? A bad cold. Picked up a cough over Los Angeles, stuffy head over Denver, aches over Chicago. Mrs. Claus bought me all these medicines. All I need is NyQuil Vicks Nighttime Colds Medicine. Got that in Boston. NyQuil alone relieves the same symptoms as all these, so I can get the rest I need.
Got everything?
Yep. NyQuil alone does it all. She's the best present I ever got.
Just in time for the holidays, Alpha Beta's trimming 1/2 off the price of tree trimmings, 1/2 off the price of wrapping paper, ribbons, and bows, 1/2 off box greeting cards, but only for 72 hours. This Friday through Sunday, choose your favorite patterns of paper, load up on lights, wreaths, ornaments, and save on box greeting cards. But the sale doesn't include the gift of time, because it lasts only 72 hours, Friday through Sunday, at Alpha Beta. Tell a friend.
Coming Wednesday night, the Christmas classic, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. See Santa Claus and an incredible snow monster in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Merry Christmas!
Wednesday at 8, 7 Central and Mountain. Here on CBS.
Our third matchup is the Mountain West Conference Championship between the University of Nevada, Las Vegas and Boise State. This is for the final college football playoff spot with added incentive going to the Broncos, who would get a first-round bye with a victory. Now, obviously, like I said, UNLV would also be in with a victory, but I don't think they would get that first-round bye. I think they would probably be knocked down to the 5th seed, which means they would host the Big 12 champion. And yes, I am aware that the game, I believe, is actually being played in Boise, not Las Vegas. I, for some reason, thought the Mountain West Conference Championship was also a neutral site game. I guess I was wrong. Now, the Boise State Broncos really do kind of lead the way here. They had a pretty dominant victory over the Rebels about a month or so ago. Yes, I know, it was 29-24, but that score was not an indicator as to the closeness of that game at all. UNLV, I think, got some garbage touchdowns there. I think Boise State took a 2-possession lead very early on in that game. It was pretty much over. Running back Asher Gentry is utilizing the ball very well in both the running and passing game. And, of course, that's also led to major success in the play-action pass game for quarterback Maddox Madsen. Now, that isn't to say that UNLV is a bad team by any stretch of the imagination. They're really good. They have a high-powered offense, though I do think there are still some question marks on defense, which is odd given Coach Barry Odom's specialties. Like I said, they not only lost that earlier game to Boise State, but they lost that at home, and now they're going to be playing in Boise, so things are just not stacking up in their favor. I do think this will be close, but ultimately, Boise State's going to win this. They're going to advance to the college football playoff. They're going to get that first round bye, so yeah, I like the Broncos to win this one.
Right now, all the right shoes are on sale for fall at Kinney. It's our biggest sale of the year. Don't miss it. Kinney. We only sell the right shoe.
You know, Vern, timing is very important. And that's why you should buy your car at Cerritos Auto Square during the last 10 days of the month. They're way overstocked. All 15 dealers are under pressure. They've got to lower their prices, meet their quotas. They're just a bunch of wimps. Now's the time to strike at the soft underbelly of Cerritos Auto Square. What about the salesman? Don't worry about the salesman. Any one of us can whip a salesman during the last 10 days at Cerritos Auto Square.
21 dealers strong, 605 Freeway at South Street.
Fun times are coming.
This whole school is turning into a 3-ring circus.
It's about good times. First times.
She wants to be alone with me?
And fast times.
Hey, I was looking for you.
And look for more laughs on the...
Our next matchup is the Big 12 championship game between Arizona State and Iowa State. And the Big 12 was most certainly the most interesting of the Power 4 conferences this year. Going into the season, the odds-on favorites were the likes of Utah, Oklahoma State, or Kansas State. And of those three, Utah and Oklahoma State completely floundered this season, while Kansas State was only kind of middling. Then, as the season wore on, BYU, Iowa State, and Colorado were leading kind of early there, only for all three of those teams to kind of stumble out of the block, and Arizona State to then come on strong, upsetting the apple cart to usurp everyone there. Now, the Sun Devils have really developed into an offensive juggernaut, thanks to the likes of quarterback Sam Levitt, running back Cam Skidaboo, and, of course, wide receiver Jordan Tyson. Now, that being said, their defense still leaves a lot of questions, a lot of things to be desired. They've given up a lot of points at times. They haven't exactly held that many teams in check. Yeah, they blew out Arizona, but Arizona hasn't been very good this year. Not to mention the nightmare clock management from the end of the BYU game keeps replaying in my head on a daily basis. I don't know why I've never been that big an Arizona State fan, but for some reason they just do in this case. Now, the Iowa State Cyclones have been in the thick of the college football playoff picture all season. That being said, they were ultimately done in thanks to killer losses to both Texas State and Kansas. The Cyclones are led by quarterback Rocco Brecht, running back Carson Hamner, and linebacker Caleb Bacon. They play very solid offense and defense. That being said, pun not fully intended here, the Sun Devils are red hot right now, and while the Cyclones are consistent, it's not enough to, I think, overpower Arizona State right now. I think their offensive firepower is just a little too big. I think overall they're going to win out. They're going to win pretty handily here. It's by a couple possessions, maybe 10 points, but yeah, I like Arizona State here.
In the movie 9 to 5, I played a secretary, and we had lots of fun, had all the answers. But for 20 million office workers, getting answers to questions about adequate pay, job stress, getting promoted isn't often fun or easy. That's why a National Association of Office Workers has designed this little booklet. For your copy, call 800-424-2936. You'll get your answer.
Can anything stop the animal? The animal. It's a big, powerful 4x4. But when the going gets tough, it bares its claws to climb over anything that gets in its way.
The animal, the animal. Can anything stop the animal, the animal?
The animal, clawing its way to the top. The animal, each sold separately, batteries not included. New from Galoob.
Soon the game Monopoly will come to life at McDonald's. Win a McDLT, Coca-Cola, $1 million. A Lincoln Town Car, dream home, vacation, over $40 million in cash and prizes. It all starts March 27th.
Our next matchup is the Mid-American Conference Championship between Miami of Ohio and Ohio. You remember a few weeks ago when we covered Western Michigan and I said that they and Buffalo are going to be in the MAC Championship game? Yeah, I missed on that one. Likewise, another early favorite, Northern Illinois, beat Notre Dame and then pretty much went 500 the rest of the season. So yeah, the MAC could be a very unpredictable conference. The Miami Redhawks managed to just step in the void, beating the likes of Bowling Green to clinch a spot in the title game. The Redhawks are led at quarterback by Blaine Gabbert's brother Brett, and they have a nice receiving targets in Jalen Tracy, Reggie Virgil, and Cade McDonald. And not only that, but their defense has been strong, holding most of their opponents to under 20 points on a regular basis. Now, the Bobcats of Ohio are definitely looking to avenge a loss to Miami earlier this season. Their offense is led by quarterback Peter Navarro and Anthony Tyus at running back. He's put up some good numbers and, like I said, provides some quality to the run game. Now, if there is a big question, of course, it's that their defense. It's been really questionable this whole season. They sometimes give up a lot of points, sometimes give up very little points. It's just a little too unpredictable. The Redhawks are the better team here. Miami of Ohio is going to win this one. So if you're wanting how to question your differences between Miami's, the University of Miami is the Hurricanes of Florida. Miami University is Miami of Ohio, the Redhawks. So yeah, the Redhawks are going to win this.
Wendy's presents a great gift idea. Wendy's gift certificates. 10 coupons, only $5. To wish your friends a Merry Christmas and a hot and juicy New Year.
Now, when you buy a $5 Wendy's gift certificate, you'll get a free 1980 Wendy's calendar containing nearly $20 worth of coupons.
Milk-Bone Dog Biscuits, dog treats and flavor snacks. Merry Christmas, pal.
This Christmas card was sent to you by the people at Miller High Life. Merry Christmas.
Up next, it's the Sun Belt Conference Championship between the Marshall Thundering Herd and the Louisiana Raging Cajuns. And I know that I really haven't paid much attention to the Sun Belt Conference this year. I mean, outside of the 3 Florida International games I covered, the only problem there being is that Florida International is actually in Conference USA. Oops. Anyway, Marshall is back in the contention picture again. Now, the Thundering Herd had to beat James Madison in double overtime just to clinch a spot in the Sun Belt Championship game, as they've played pretty so-so throughout the season. They've lost to the likes of Ohio State and Virginia Tech, but also Georgia Southern, who was the team they narrowly got by just to get to this point. They're led on offense by Cole Pennington, that's the son of Marshall legend Chad Pennington, as well as running back A.J. Turner, as well as bringing in backup quarterback to bring in a different flavor on the offense when needed. Now, after a 2-year layoff, the Louisiana Raging Cajuns have returned to their customary spot at the top of the Sun Belt Conference, their only losses being to Tulane and South Alabama. If there is a main player to watch, it's actually not on offense, it's on defense. Quarterback Keon Martin, I think, has got a future in the pros. There are a few other noteworthy players for Louisiana, like quarterback Ben Woolridge and Lancer Grain at wide receiver. Overall, Louisiana is just kind of a powerhouse. The Raging Cajuns are probably going to wind up winning this one rather handily, at least by a couple touchdowns here. Marshall's a good team. I think they could put up a good fight, but ultimately Louisiana is going to win this.
Pizza Hut, pizza to go. Pizza Hut, pizza to go. Pizza Hut, pizza to go.
Pizza Hut Pan Pizza is a special way to warm the busy holiday season. So call ahead and we'll have it fresh, hot, and ready to go.
Pizza Hut, pizza to go.
Frederick and Nelson has always been a big part of Christmas. Everyone loved Frango chocolates, of course. And a gift from Frederick and Nelson, that was special. Since 1925, Frederick and Nelson has been making delectable Frango chocolate candy. Today, choose from mint, rum, mocha, almond latte, ebony, espresso. Plus Frango fruitcakes, coffee, cocoa, ice cream toppings, and gift baskets. It just wouldn't be Christmas without Frederick and Nelson.
Will the Grinch pinch Santa's biggest day? How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Then the Man of Ice who will melt your heart. Frosty the Snowman. 2 Christmas classics Saturday.
Up next, it's the Southeastern Conference Championship between Georgia and Texas. Obviously, this one's a real biggie, as pretty much everything winds up being determined by this game. The winner, in all likelihood, the winner will get a first-round bye. The loser, may even actually be out. If Georgia gets blown out here, I don't know, when I ran my simulation, it wasn't Georgia, but still, the game wound up being like this. It could wind up affecting a lot of things. Now, this is a rematch of an earlier season matchup between these two that Georgia actually won in Austin. Georgia caused a lot of turnovers that game, and the Bulldog defense really did carry the team throughout much of that. However, since then, the Bulldogs have been kinda hit and miss. They struggled to beat Florida, they had a devastating loss to Ole Miss, and then it took 8 overtimes to get by Georgia Tech, which really should not have happened. Carson Beck is not really playing up to his standards, and I think the real strength of the Bulldogs is their running game with Trevor Etienne and their defense. That being said, they can't let Texas get too much of a big lead here, or else they're going to be in a lot of trouble. Meanwhile, the Longhorns basically took that defeat in stride and really haven't skipped a beat all season. That being said, I don't know what the better option is for them at quarterback right now. Maybe it's Quinn Ewers, maybe it's Arch Manning. I'm still not entirely sure. However, I really think their power lays in their defense. They're really top-notch. I think that's what's keeping a lot of those teams in check, and it was allowed the Longhorns' win streak to, maybe not win streak, but their winning ways to definitely continue. Overall, I do think Georgia can hang with Texas, but ultimately the Longhorns are going to wind up pulling away with this one. They've learned their lessons from last time. They're playing much better football. Texas is going to win this one handily, 14-plus points. They'll probably pull away in the fourth quarter to do it, but like I said, Texas is going to win this one.
You better watch out.
You better be good.
Can I take something out for you?
You better not live in the neighborhood, because the Griswolds are spending Christmas at home.
We didn't come to impose.
Oh, hell, there's plenty of room.
Can I refill your eggnog for you? Drive you out to the middle of nowhere, leave you for dead?
Chevy Chips.
Everybody come out quick, look at the lights.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Starts Friday, December 1st at a theater near you.
This year, give someone special a taste of adventure with gift certificates from Red Lobster. Give something special to the seafood lovers on your list. Red Lobster $5 and $10 gift certificates.
Discover all we do.
What a delicious idea.
For the seafood lover in you.
Two Guys says, for Christmas fun, Polaroid's the one. Here's the world's simplest camera, the Polaroid One Step. Two Guys' low price, just $25.88. And here's the finest instant camera in the world, Polaroid's Alpha Sonar One Step. At Two Guys, it's just $159.88. Stop in now and ask about Polaroid's free film and flash bar offers.
We save money for you at Two Guys, naturally.
Holidays, I want to be with my family, so I'm all for anything that helps cut down on the time I spend hunting for gifts for friends and out-of-town relatives. That's why I bought these Safeway gift certificates. You can get them from $5 to $25, and the people you give them to can buy what they want.
And you don't even have to wrap them. We just mail them with our holiday cards.
Safeway gift certificates, so I'll have a little more time with them.
Everything you want from a store and a little bit more.
Up next, it's the Atlantic Coast Conference Championship between Clemson and Southern Methodist University. This one could really mean a whole lot, as both teams need to win in order to make the college football playoff. However, that could wind up affecting Alabama's playoff positioning as well. We've come full circle as we last covered SMU all the way back in week 0, and nothing really since. However, the Mustangs have really just kind of plowed along as best as they can. Their only loss this season was to BYU, and that was out of conference. They marched through their first season in the ACC with relative ease. Granted, they didn't play the two other powerhouses in the conference this year in Clemson and Miami. Well, they're playing Clemson in the championship game, but like I said, they didn't play them during the regular season. Their main offensive weapons are quarterback Kevin Jennings, tight end R.J. Maryland, that's the son of former Cowboy Russell Maryland, running back Jalen Knight, wide receiver Kayshawn Smith, and Jordan Hudson. That being said, I do think the Mustangs' defense has yet to really be tested. Like I said, the most potent offense they faced was probably BYU, who beat them. That being said, Clemson has really only been kind of serviceable this season. They started playing well as it went on, but then in the last 2 weeks they kind of fell off, done in a lot by their turnovers. The defense is playing well, but if this gets into a shootout, they're probably not going to withstand much. I know this sounds strange that I say I'm going out on a limb here, but everyone's been talking about Clemson. Not many people have really been talking about SMU, and I think I have more faith in SMU's offense than I do in Clemson, or Clemson's offense in general. So I'm thinking if this is close, SMU's going to pull away in the fourth quarter. They're going to win this. I'm going to pick the Mustangs here.
Taste the fun.
It's really soft bubble gum.
Taste the fun.
The shape is nice.
It's good. It's bad.
Taste the fun. That'll win you over the sugarless gum.
Taste Trident.
Really fun gum.
The painting is by Goya. The settee is by Majorelle. The lamp is by Tiffany. And the gourmet cat food is by Fancy Feast. In the single serving can, you can see just by looking how moist and delicious it is. How much your cat will love it. Fancy Feast. Good taste is easy to recognize. Now in 3 new varieties.
Wednesday.
It is me, but it isn't me. This photograph has not been altered.
A photographer's faux pas could be the motive for murder.
I want that photograph.
Crazy like a fox. Then an innocent child is kidnapped. A desperate mother with only one place to turn. Their only hope, the equalizer.
I'm the man you called.
Wednesday.
He's back, facing his toughest and most shocking homicide case ever. Max von Sydow, Suzanne Plachette.
Who loves you, baby?
Telly Savalas, Kojak, The Valeris File, Thursday.
Up next, it's the Big Ten Championship between Penn State and Oregon. Now, Oregon is currently ranked overall in the college football playoff settings here, and they will probably solidify the number 1 seed with a victory. That being said, I'm hesitant to say that would be an easy path to the playoff final because they will not likely have to play the 2 teams that played them the hardest this year in Boise State and Ohio State again. Overall in this game, I think Dylan Gabriel is going to need to have a really big game as the Nittany Lions will be focused on stopping the Ducks' running attack. Now, while Penn State is a very good team, they still have a lot of struggles. Obviously, they couldn't beat Ohio State this year again, which was a major hurdle, and it was only thanks to the Buckeyes losing to Michigan that they are in the Big Ten Conference Championship game right now. But they've also struggled against the likes of USC and Minnesota. The Nittany Lions do run the ball well, but the passing game leaves a lot to be desired and needs a lot of improvement. It seems they're still having a lot of the same struggles they've had over the past few years that necessitated an offensive coordinator change at the beginning of this season. Their defense has really carried much of the team, but again, if this winds up getting into a shootout with Oregon scoring a lot of points, I don't know if the Nittany Lions can hold up to that. The fact of the matter is, Oregon is just far and away the better team. Penn State has always failed to rise to the competition in recent years. The Ducks are probably going to win this one rather handily. Again, 14 plus points here. Oregon wins.
Gimbels brings Christmas home with something for everyone on your gift list. The Van Heusen 417 dress shirt is a Gimbels Wise Buy at 2 for $30. The long-sleeve Oxford cloth, tailored with button-down collar, features mostly cotton for comfort, blended with polyester for easy care. This popular dress shirt comes in neutrals of white, blue, and ecru, so you'll want one in every color.
Gimbels brings Christmas home.
Come on, everyone, it's time. Hello, I'm Orville Redenbacher. This is my favorite time of the year, when we Redenbachers get together to share the best of the season. Of course, we pop up plenty of my light and fluffy gourmet popping corn and my gourmet microwave popping corn.
Ready?
You'll say they're the season's best, or I'm not.
Redenbacher.
Great grandpa to you. May your holiday be the best there is.
Surprise, surprise, it's a gift from Bentley's. A gift from Bentley's is a welcome surprise.
This holiday season, why not surprise them with a garment bag from Pegasus? It's quality crafted and durable Cordura nylon with 2 large pockets and 4 hangers. Buy now and get this matching utility kit free exclusively at Bentley's. We've got lots of surprises in store for you.
You got a gift from Bentley's, a welcome surprise.
We have finally reached our last matchup, the annual game between Army and Navy. It's been an incredible season for both Service Academy teams, as they are now conference rivals to boot. Obviously, this isn't going to affect much of the standings, the college football playoff or otherwise. Everything will pretty much be solidified by this point. That being said, this is for the Commanders-in-Chief trophy, which maybe in some aspects is what the Service Academies really want instead of a national championship. Probably because they're used to playing for it all the time. Both teams obviously run the option offense, with Army throwing the ball just a little bit more. That being said, Navy hasn't had a lot of close games this year, as their defense has either given up a few touchdowns or a whole lot. They're really hard to get a handle on. And again, I think if weather comes into action, the ball control nature of this game is it's going to wind up being low scoring no matter what. In the end, the longtime era of Navy dominance throughout the early part of this 21st century is long gone. Army's the better team now. Army's won like 4 of the last 5 or something to that effect. I think it's going to continue. I think Army's going to win this one handily. It'll be close early, but ultimately I think the Black Knights and Hudson are going to pull this out. So yeah, Army will win the Army-Navy game.
Once again, it's time to unpack the Christmas decorations and start thinking about what gifts to get the kids this year. Sears can help with savings of 20% on lots of officially licensed NFL apparel, like football jerseys, sweatshirts, and award jackets for boys. And 20% off on our entire collection of Pretty Miss Petticoat sportswear, dresses, and accessories for girls. On sale now, only in the children's store. With best wishes for a happy holiday from Sears.
Has he gone? Good. Let's put up the Stanley garage door opener. But it's our only night off. I can do it myself. It's a Stanley. Okay, we'll help. Santa won't have to wrestle with that door. Oh, he's so hard to shop for, so I got him the best, Stanley. Boy, that was easy. Wasn't over our heads. He's got. Merry Christmas.
For me? Oh, it's a Stanley.
You want to help me do things right.
What? Huh? Oh, dear. I'm outside. Where'd inside go? What? Why are you doing this to me? Because if I tap you 10 times in this game, I get free donuts. Are you saying I'm not real? I'm just a character in a game? And there are free donuts? Mm-hmm. Let's do this, giant me!
Download The Simpsons Tapped Out for free and tap Homer 10 times in a row. In addition to in-game donuts, you'll receive a special bonus decoration.
This game is life-ruiningly fun!
Next time on Star Trek The Next Generation. They certainly are fit. The crew visits a planet of sensual pleasure. Death?
Without breaking any law.
But an innocent violation
No, West!
puts Wesley's life in jeopardy. Drop it now. And despite everyone's rescue attempts, he's being held safely until sundown. He faces an alien death sentence on Star Trek The Next Generation.
Tonight at 8 on Channel 11.
Okay, so obviously that was a lot. And we had to cover one team twice, so that's why everything got kind of condensed towards the end there. Anyway, to wrap things up, I like Jacksonville State over Western Kentucky, Tulane over Army, Boise State over UNLV, Arizona State over Iowa State, Miami of Ohio over Ohio, Louisiana over Marshall, Texas over Georgia, SMU over Clemson, Oregon over Penn State, and Army over Navy next week. Okay, so to try to keep things down a little bit here, I'm not going to go too in-depth. Let's just talk about the games we're covering next week. That's going to be Miami versus Houston, Washington versus New Orleans, Tampa Bay versus the LA Chargers, and Green Bay versus Seattle. After that, it's going to be our non-college football playoff bowl preview, as we'll be covering the LA Bowl presented by Gronk, the Cure Bowl, the Hawaii Bowl, the Pop-Tarts Bowl, the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl presented by Gin and Juice Energy Drink, the First Responder Bowl, the Duke's Mayo Bowl, and the Bahamas Bowl. And then hopefully after that we'll get to the random trade review on Harley Quinn Hot in the City. All right, we're done here. Have fun. Take care. See y'all next time. Hey guys, remember that you can support my work at patreon.com/sleepytimeforcat productions. Also, remember to like, comment, share, subscribe to my channel, and ring that notification bell so that way you can be alerted to further videos.